Good morning and welcome to the Morning Blend. I have a co-host, Captain Trek, and today we will be both discussing why we love Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Good morning, Jedi Bill. How are you this morning?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good to hear. I'm doing all right myself. So
we're-
yeah, tell me, what is the, granted I know you're the host, but what made you pick Wrath of Khan?
Well, I said my background, this lovely picture in the background, and the lovely thumbnail that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, let's just talk about why we love Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Simple. And here we are. Why I love Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, I'd have to say, being the class of 1982, such a great year for so many good things. But as far as sci-fi, and I think it's one of the most action-packed Star Trek films of the original Star Trek cast.
I liked it because it was a continuation of Space Seed. At the end of that episode, they talked about, wonder what would happen if we went back so many years later, and it turns out they accidentally went back and found out it didn't turn out the way they thought. Because granted, the planet wasn't, really easy, but they could manage to survive. But with what happened, and they talk about in the events of the movie, it went from a barely survivable to they God only knows how they survived. But let's see here. Okay, you got. Let me ask this: what did you think when you first heard about it? Because obviously the motion picture had been out before.
Yeah.
What was it? When you first saw the previews for it, what was in your mind?
It's so long ago. That might kind of caught me off guard. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember that far back. But I guess because the original motion picture was kind of long and drawn out.
Kind of boring at times, yeah.
Yeah, and when I guess, and I haven't seen the trailer or anything since then. I guess it would be how action packed the film looked.
Right.
And for me, one of the reasons why I love it is the Alliance and the Enterprise going at it hardcore,
Oh, definitely. Now, I will say I liked it at the beginning of the movie where they were showing the simulation, where
Kobayashi Maru.
Kobayashi Maru, yes.
Kobayashi Maru.
Testing the the no-win scenario, and I like that concept where there are going to be no-win scenarios in real life, and you have to make the best choice of what decisions you have available. And I did like how they delved into that one. And then, of course, after that, they go on, and Kirk was kind of moping because it was his birthday. And, in some ways I can understand, because obviously he was promoted to admiral. He was looking toward, the end of his career, and retirement. Whereas, in the original series, he was basically in his prime. But so I liked. Or am I confused the guy with Star Trek 3? Shit. But
it's okay, Cap.
my brain, I have been up 12 hours. I'm not used to that. It's been a while.
Sorry, we were quite singy this morning and last night, weren't we?
Absolutely, it was fun. I did get a little nap in, by the way, but
good.
About an hour. But all of a sudden going in and there was emergency. They had to go find out what was going on, and it's just then you find out things along the way. So what? What else comes up for you with watching the movie? And I'm sure there are people watching it. If they have any questions, they're free to ask.
Oh yeah. For me, it's missing all the great cast members that were no longer with us. We were just talking about that a while ago. How I was at some of the conventions, and like DeForest Kelly was there, and he's one of the ones I would have loved to meet, and James Dorn. If I could vent time and go back in time, I would go back to that moment, to where I was in the vicinity, to just have a few moments and talk to these beloved actors. And
oh yes,
star of the show.
Personally, if I had to pick one, I would probably pick Leonard Nimoy.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong. I like DeForest Kelly and I like James Doohan, but I don't know. Spock was always my personal favorite character, and I think that was the you got to see Spock really, even though he stepped down from the captain's role for the actual mission, you actually get to see him in acting as a captain prior to that. And he did what he thought was the right thing by letting Kirk, the superior officer, take command when it came time. And I liked, and I liked the look of the ship. Quite honestly, it looked more, obviously more updated, because they've done refits. And what about you? What did you think of the differences in the look of the ship from even the motion picture? It was different from that to Star Trek 2.
Oh yeah, the ship was. It looked. I prefer more sexier, and I would say.
Yeah.
And more defined and more real badass.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, they had the stations positioned differently than they did in the original series. And it actually made more sense because you wouldn't necessarily want the weapons and the direction area, controls right next to each other.
Mhm.
Although it would be easy to push a button and fire a phaser, fire photon torpedo, but I liked that they moved the positions around. So the con position was for navigation. That was the word I was looking for.
Mhm.
But so, how old were you when you first saw it? Star Trek Two.
Well, 1982, so I lived in. I'm not 9 going on 10. What month did that come out in? Oh, jeez, I'll have to look it up now.
Probably more than likely you were probably 9.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
came out during the summer. Yeah, yep, yeah. I was still 9. I hadn't wanted to turn 10 until later on in the year.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
younger than that. I still remember going to the theater and watching it, and I was just amazed because it was, oh gosh, it was just so exciting to see on
yeah,
the big
and
screen.
oh yeah, and the score, the score is really good. Let's see.
Uh,
Yeah, James Horner. James Horner did the score. Yeah,
cool.
yeah. James Horner did the score. Yeah. That's a score to definitely have on CD or put it in your library.
So, 6 baby Wookiees in a trench coat. I'm. Let me ask this: did you like the Wrath of Khan? Star Trek Two: The Wrath of Khan. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse with the new crap, but because I know whatever has Khan in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we know we got some people watching, and we'd
Yeah.
appreciate some input.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know V Star's here. Want to say good morning to her.
Oh, yeah.
Khan was all right. Okay. Well, let me ask this: what is it that you uh liked and didn't like? And this goes for anybody watching because
Yeah.
uh, I think that's one thing we need to explore.
Of course.
Uh, let's see here, undiscovered country. That was 6. I would uh, I would disagree that it was the best, but it was up there. It's definitely better than 5 or 1. Um, I kind of view like 2, 3, and 4 as a continuing thing. So to me, it's more like a trilogy within the whole series of movies. You got the 2, 3, and 4. 5 sucked. Uh, 6 was good,
Yeah.
and that really helped to round up the series of the original movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But you did see you like 4 or you didn't like 4.
I did like 4. I did.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I did. That's my second favorite. The Star Trek original movie cast of movies.
Um, and yeah, but the when it got down to it, they went into they found Khan, and he'd already was trying to find the Genesis device, which the uh, McCoy and Spock had just heard of, because they were uh, in the ready room with Kirk.
Yeah.
and he called for the information and did the retinal scan, which I actually thought was kind of cool at the time.
Yeah.
I'd never thought of that. It's like, of course, I was a kid. It's like, what the hell's a retinal scan?
Yeah.
But it got to the point where they were in it for their lives, and it actually felt to me like it was a real no-win scenario, where and of course ultimately there was a choice that had to be made, and that choice cost one of the crew members their life. But well, I hope we didn't wake you, V-Star.
We're just talking about the Wrath of Khan.
Absolutely. And I go ahead. It's your show.
I was just gonna say, I would love to hear Bird of Prey 5's take on this film. Maybe I should send my cats, who caught a bird. Unfortunately, it wasn't a bird of prey, but they did catch a bird this morning, and they were playing with it over here on the floor.
Oh, that poor bird. Not Bird of Prey 5.
Yeah. The bird that my kitty cats were playing with this morning.
Oh, yes. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like I just checked over there real quick. It looks like Bird of Prey 5 is over on the Anti-Trekker stream because he has the church life thing going on.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll like the playback if he doesn't make it here in time.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he will. Yeah, the Klingons were badass.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I don't agree that about Worf, but actually, kind of. But considering that he didn't grow up with Klingons, there is a expectation he's going to be different than most. So, okay, V-Star, what do you like about Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, please tell us.
Anything that, obviously anything you want to talk about, particularly about the Wrath of Khan, because that's the topic for today, would be most appreciated. Because, and granted, we can come up and talk about anything we wanted to, but, it is nice to have some input. So, let's see here. What would you say was your favorite part of the movie, Bill?
Well, I don't have a favorite part. The whole entire film is my favorite part, but I did like when they find Khan and his crew, when they put the bug in their ear. I love that they didn't, they used practical effects on that, and the bug looks so realistic, didn't it?
Oh yes. Trust me, I had some bad dreams about that thing, and I was itching my ear for the longest time because it's like,
yeah. It's like, anytime you feel a bug crawling, when you're in their sleep, it's like, get away from me, get away from me. That and there's so many great parts of the film, but why I love it because all the action, the battles between the Enterprise.
Well, see, one of my favorite sequences was when they were in the Nebula, and they were going for you hear the Enterprise was coming in and going for that shot, and you see this bright light, and that was just cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved because it felt so real, like they were actually in a nebula.
Oh yeah.
You were immersed in the movie. Um, Now, as far as what Six Baby Wookiees is saying, yeah, I would agree that you know Trekkies and Star Wars fans are in the same boat. I would consider myself a fan of both. Yes, I love Star Trek, obviously, but I do love Star Wars, and I'm going to preface that by saying that for me, it is episodes 1 through 6. I don't. I saw episode. What was it? Episode 7, and I'm going. Oh, no, never again. Um, Hated it, and but and I saw the first of the uh, Star Trek, or as I call New Trek movies. Um, and I utterly hated that one completely. There wasn't anything I liked about it. Now, looking back, there were probably a couple things I could have picked out that weren't so bad, but I really did not like it because I didn't think it was true to the Star Trek universe. But going back to Star Trek 2, that was the other thing. With the practical effects, it felt more real than in later movies where they were using the CGI all the time.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And for me, I like that that feel of those effects where it makes it actually look more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you can have these computer generated things that they look fake. It's like whatever. It looks cool, but no.
Yeah.
No. But no. So okay, they finally get into the battle, and they're in it for their lives, and obviously, um, you know, once they finally shoot the Reliant and are able to disable it, Khan has really got no choice. So what did you think of the whole build up to the uh, Genesis device, activating it, and
Oh,
such?
it kept you on your seat of your toes. It was one glorious roller coaster ride of action. Uh,
Oh, absolutely! I
it
love
was
that.
immensely intense. The back and forth and the wizardry of Captain, or he was an admiral at the time, right? He was an admiral.
Yes, yes.
Uh, yeah, his cunning genius of how he handled the situation was utter brilliant, in my opinion.
And of course, he disagreed that it was brilliant because, as he said, he caught with his pants down and just lucked out. Which is kind of true. He did ignore Saavik in her warning,
Right?
but then again, it's like, oh, I'm the captain, so kind of understandable. Well, actually, admiral at that point, but
Yeah.
but I liked the whole. Well, I did think it was funny also when Kirk had to use his glasses. I mean, he hated using them.
Yeah.
He had to put them on to read the stuff.
Yeah.
And it was kind of humbling for him because he had to admit there was a weakness he had. He had to have the glasses.
Oh yeah, I can relate. As in my old age, I'm finding it reading simple text on my phone. I'm finding I'm having to use a magnifying glass. So I'm gonna have to look at getting a pair of reading glasses myself.
Yeah.
Those are the reading glasses that turn up in 4, right? In the voyage home, it was his birthday, and they give him the glasses.
Let's see here. They gave he got the glasses in. What was it? I was thinking he got because he sold them in 4 when they went back in time, and so that's they got a whole $100 for it.
Yeah. Nice antique glasses, huh?
But no, and no, there was that one scene where you have the woman. Here we are jumping back and forth in the movie, but the woman giving the well, that's another damn movie too. Shit.
I know.
It's kind of it's funny because in focusing on 2, I mean it was a brilliant picture, and I did like the way that they bridged the 3 movies together, but I still thought that 2 and 3 were superior,
Yeah.
And they were kind of like 2 movies in 1, whereas 4 was good. It was an awesome movie, but it was not quite as connected, if that makes any sense. Even though they were going back in time and trying to save Earth, but so what else were you wanting to talk about Star Trek 2? Because I mean, quite honestly, I love the movie, and I actually watch it at least a couple times a year personally. In fact, when I was first out of the hospital, I watched it like once a week.
Yeah. We were talking about the old Starlog magazines and how I used to collect. I probably had every issue that had dealing with Star Trek, and they were the Starlight Press had these movie magazines that were totally based like Wrath of Khan was one of them. Wrath of Khan, and they made like Aliens and like Rocky. But yeah, to find these old magazine / books, you'd have to really, really hunt it down because unfortunately the warehouse, I believe in the early 90s or late 90s to early 2000s burnt down. So, but yeah, there was like these Starlog from Starlight Press. There was one on Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, and they would have a whole bunch of them that were just based on all these great films that we love.
Oh yeah.
So very high up on the collector's item. I have some of them in my possession. I lost a whole bunch from storage, but that's okay. Maybe I'll be able to hunt them down again.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You never know. If you have a keen eye, you can hunt rare treasures down.
and it's, you could find some of the things, in amazing places. I've seen some stuff, really kind of, like Goodwill, that kind of thing, where people just want to donate it and get it out of possession because they don't know what it's worth.
Yeah.
And so, I found a few Star Trek things that were, and Star Wars for that matter, that were in good condition.
Yeah.
And I bought them because it's like, wow, I got this thing for $2 where it would have been, 30 in the store.
Do you remember? I don't remember which fast food place had Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan glasses.
Yes.
So they had pictures of the glasses. Oh man, I would love to go hunt that whole set down. Just hunt it down and keep them preserved as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, see, I had a whole set, and unfortunately, there was an accident, and one of them, was shattered.
Oh man.
I still have the glass.
Yeah.
Not usable, but they're now put up in a safer place.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so I still have 3 of them. And I've tried. I think those were Burger King, if I'm not mistaken, put those out.
Yeah. Well, maybe Bird would be able to school us on that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Too bad he's not here. We might have to do a part 2 on this to get to weigh in on why others like the film.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. And that's another thing. With the comment section, since people can watch this video and they can leave a comment, they can leave a like, and of course share it. And delve into anything that we haven't talked about. Where then we could go, okay, yeah, we didn't go into that. Let's make a part 2 and answer these questions.
Oh, absolutely.
And that way, we could involve Bird in it, or you could just involve Bird in it. Obviously, your show. But that way, it's and it would be nice to have his input.
Oh yeah. And my main co-host, I'm sure Mr. CCTV, has a ton he can go into about Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. He loves the movie. But we were singing till the break of dawn, and he's catching up on some sleep, I hope.
Much needed sleep, yes.
As I will later this afternoon. I have to run around this morning, but I'm going to catch up some sleep later today.
Yeah, I probably will as well, because it'll be time for a nap a little bit later. Being honest, I have, like I've told you before, I'm on a new medication for pain relief, which is obviously helped because you heard me singing earlier. I was doing a little bit better than normal. But now, what did you think about the whole, really the ultimate sacrifice of Spock?
Oh, I was brought to tears at that moment. Because he's Spock.
Yeah.
And that moment was so emotional. And you felt Captain Kirk's pain and sadness for losing not just a friend, a brother.
Exactly.
Brother.
You know, going in, their closeness was so obvious because Spock was able to actually talk to Kirk more than he did others. And obviously, the only reason he put his Katra in McCoy was because McCoy was there. It's like, I got to do something to save what's the essence of myself. This is the only way I can do it. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I liked how McCoy tried to stop him from going in, and oh yes, you're right. Da 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 da. Then he distracts the doctor and gives him the nerve pinch, and then remember. And then he grabs a pair of gloves and goes in and takes care of it. And it was so. It's like, oh shit, is it going to work? Will they end up making it? Come on. And there was almost this fear, like, oh god, is this actually going to be the end of the crew?
Yeah.
Like, granted, as a kid at that time, so I didn't know better.
Yeah.
But watching that, it's like this, that was exciting, and then all of a sudden, whew,
yeah,
they're off.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, I was happy that they shaped the ship.
Yeah, that
at a great cost, at a huge cost.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't remember how many crewmen, including Scotty's nephew, were killed in the initial attack and the subsequent attack on the Enterprise. But obviously, the one that touched most of the crew the most was Spock, because the ones who had served under him for years, well, number one, he was the captain of the ship. And obviously, you look up to the captain, you have respect and regard for him. And, a lot of these people knew him for a long time, particularly the original series crew. And so I would say it was the hardest death that they had to deal with. That's just my way of thinking. So what did you think?
Oh, agreed, 100%.
I quite honestly, if I had to choose, I loved 6, but yeah, I would have to say ultimately my favorite was Star Trek 2, because that really began the movies of Trek. Mm-hmm. I don't count the first one. I mean, I liked it. It's okay, but the first really Trek feel movie was Star Trek 2.
Oh yes,
and it was exciting. It was action packed, but it was, it wasn't like constant action. You had character development in the whole thing. You got to know or rediscover the people that you'd known years ago.
Yeah.
Where they were, what they were doing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a jump from the 60s to the first one in 1978 and this one coming out in 82.
Yeah.
You removed a couple decades, This one was just it's what Star Trek is like. It got you excited about when in 1982, and you start watching that trailer, or even if you watch the trailer today, it gets you excited about Star Trek.
Oh, definitely. I still get excited when I see it.
Wow, I'm gonna be beside myself. I have to go watch this movie right now. It's just so it's that awesomeness of the film, you know.
Oh, definitely. I still see that awesomeness in the movie. That I don't get that feeling in a lot of movies.
I know.
And I don't know. That's one of the things I like I said, I prefer the practical effects when possible. Obviously some things you're not going to be able to do for safety reasons.
Yeah.
But it just, like I said, it looks more realistic, even though it's a special effect. It just doesn't look as fake as CGI. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so, I mean, obviously, we both love Star Trek 2.
Oh yeah. I already think we're gonna have to have a part 2. This is
absolutely
when we can get more people in to weigh in on why we love Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan.
Absolutely.
What it did for them and their emotions, the emotions it brings up, and how awesome the movie holds up today.
Oh yes, quite honestly, I'm looking forward to it. Even if I'm just in the audience, just participating there, I would love to see a part 2 because but I think the one thing is that people need to do, is again leave a comment, ask questions, whether you necessarily agree with everything or not. That will help the discussion for part 2.
Absolutely.
And was there anything else you wanted to add? Because obviously, this is your live stream. I don't want to step on your toes.
No, you're fine, Captain. No, I just want to say thank you. Oh, wait a minute. We got Sith Lord. We got a Sith Lord. We could be going a little bit longer.
Awesome.
Hello, JJ. Hello, JJ.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
Is there any feedback? Can you hear yourselves?
No feedback.
I'm not hearing any.
Cool. I'm in my car. That's why I was curious.
Okay.
I heard you guys talking some Star Trek, and I knew a little bit about the subject.
Oh, please, weigh in.
Oh yeah.
Well, I missed some of the conversation, so bring me up to speed if you don't mind.
Oh, we've been talking why we love Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Are you kidding me? That's like my favorite Star Trek movie ever.
Well, we were just saying we're going to have a part 2 of this to we're in, but we'd love to hear your take on it, and you're more than welcome. We'll do the scheduling, and I hope you can join us for the part 2 of why we love Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, because I know there's a lot of Star Trek fans out there that are going to want to weigh in.
I sincerely doubt that I'd be up for it. The only reason why I'm up right now is I'm meeting a friend of mine, an old school friend of mine, for breakfast.
Cool.
Yeah, we do this like once a month. We live about an hour and a half apart from one another, so we meet like kind of in the middle.
Right.
But I was listening to your take on it, to both your takes on it.
Right.
Kirk's position Kirk's position, after he got back after the original series, Kirk's position, he got promoted to Admiral then.
Right.
So he was already Admiral in the motion picture.
Right.
And then Admiral, and he was Admiral up until 5, because he got
At the end of 4. Wait a
the
minute.
end of 4, right? So he's been get out the road. Oh, that's a skid mark here, man. I thought it was a dog. But yeah, man, the whole thing, man, because the entire movie itself is based off the episode Space Seed, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. We've been glossed over that.
Yeah, he's pretty much catching up to his past. And he has to deal with it. And to me, because me and Bill are about the same age, we were born the same month. I was about 9, almost 10 also when I first seen it. And
Well,
just like
it
just
came
like Star
it came
Wars,
out in June, so yeah, we've both been 9 years of age.
And I'm gonna tell you what, man. Just like Star Wars did to a 4-year-old, that movie blew up a 9-year-old's mind. I loved it
Oh, yes.
Heck yeah.
because I saw Star Wars in a drive-in. I saw this in a theater, and oh man, every time a new Star Trek movie came out, we went to go see it.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
there's a lot
definitely.
of great parts on it. I wish there was more ship-to-ship action in it, but
Right.
but just the ship going along was beautiful. And the way Kirk thinks was shown pretty much his tactfulness, his strategicness, whatever you want to word it,
Mm-hmm.
was brought to light in this particular movie because the motion picture, even though I liked it, you know, hopefully we can all agree, it was boring as hell.
Yes, we agree. that
Oh,
we
yeah.
agree on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was very slow paced. And I'm like, all right, okay. Because believe it or not, I saw Wrath of Khan first.
Ah.
I went back and watched. When I got a little bit older, I went back and watched the motion picture. I'm like, man, this is boring. What the heck? You know, but then after that, I also liked the way 2, 3, and 4 was pretty much one story.
Right.
Which, you know, when you do sequels like that, I think if the writing is great enough that most sequels should do that in some form or another. Tie in, they ain't got to go, you know, bit by bit. Okay, this happened last week, last month, or, you know, but stay with a particular storyline.
Right.
But that's with any movie. But man, Wrath of Khan, man, was
I'm just laughing at that.
excellent movie. You can give me 10 movies to pick from right now, and if it was Star Trek 2 was one of the movies, and say maybe a couple Star Wars movies and whatever else you want to throw in there, Terminator, Alien, whatever.
Right.
I'll always Wrath of Khan first. Even over some Star Wars movies. I love that movie.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I loved that movie from the first time I saw it.
Sorry, the epic beard. Yeah, it just comes to me, man. It just comes to me, and I'm sorry I didn't give you a forewarning to go into deep Star Trek. So we discussed that. We're already gonna have a part 2, so I'll send you
Sorry.
an email or message.
Sorry, Epic Beard.
His comment made me laugh.
He's a jerk. I talked to him on DJ's radio thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's a jerk. He's never nice to me. I'm kidding.
You're not nice to the captain? You're not nice to Captain.
I'm a jerk too, but you know. But then again, stop and think about it. I'm not that pissed word, or I'm not the other word, like
Yeah,
the P word, prejudice.
yeah,
I hate everybody.
yeah. You're an equal opportunity hater.
Yeah, there we go. You know. And if I see it's deserved, then guess what, y'all? Watch out, it's coming. No, seriously. I try to get along with everyone.
Oh yeah.
Even the ones that you can't get along with, but still I try anyway. But yeah, I didn't mean to come in and break the party up. I just
Oh no, it's good to
No.
have extra input.
and this is officially the first morning blend I watched or been a part of. So, because I'm a night owl just like you guys. I'm normally asleep right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, I'm glad
Oh,
you
nope.
decided to hop on. It's been really fun to have you on.
yes, it is.
Heck, I'm doing a fill-in role myself, so
Yeah, but don't worry, we're gonna do a part 2. We're gonna do part 2.
Listen, guys, I'm just a person, man. I ain't that important. I'm just another voice that if I have an opinion on it, trust me, I'll weigh in.
right.
If I don't, you won't hear nothing out of it. Because what's the point in trying to speak about something that absolutely knows you about? Yeah, I do have a question for you guys.
Sure.
I don't do this often.
Sure. No, did we cut out?
Yes, no, maybe.
I'm sorry.
Yes, no, baby.
Didn't hear your question.
Yeah, we didn't catch that.
Is there a lot of background noise on my end?
Right now there is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my car.
Ah, okay.
Just curious, my car's got a little exhaust mod on it. What I call a fart can.
Right.
I was just curious. So how much longer were you guys going, or were y'all about to wrap it up?
I'm sorry.
Well, he was asking if we were how much longer we're going, or if we're gonna wrap it up for today.
I was thinking about wrapping it up unless we can stall. I don't.
I mean, if there's
Generally,
something else you'd like to add, or anyone in the chat would like to add, because that would.
Well, I can't see the chat because I'm
Right.
driving. And I didn't hear all the questions that you may have had. So if you feel like you can repeat a couple of them, I can give you my answers on them.
Well, okay. What? Okay. Let me ask this: what would you say was your favorite scene of the movie?
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Nope.
The best scene in the first couple Star Trek movies. When it leaves space dock.
we didn't mention that one, but you're right.
But,
That was an awesome scene.
but at the same time, the Miranda class, man, the Reliant, that was the first time that we seen a newer version of an alternate, not an alternate, a different ship class.
Right.
with themselves, but
Yeah.
I like it. So, but you can't help but just love the Enterprise. Any true Star Trek fan, you just can't help but love the Enterprise.
Oh, definitely. I've always loved the Enterprise.
Mhm.
But no, I'm. Is let me ask this: what was there overall? What? How much? I mean, how much did you really like the movie? I mean, how much did it impact you?
Well, as a kid, it's not going to impact me that much,
Right.
except for all the scenery, the sound,
Oh yeah.
the music, just typical things you pay attention to, not the story or writing. I was just a kid.
Right.
To me, it was a beautiful movie. It had a lot of action in it, but not the type of action I was hoping for. Because, like I said, ship-to-ship combat, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
From TNG and DS9, I love it. I just watched the episode, the two-parter yesterday of the Orville uh, with Isaac's people,
Yes.
Klingon, and I was like, man, I like this. I need this. It's action-packed. Ship-to-ship combat. That's my thing. But all in all, man, just because of that one lacking piece, I give the movie a 9 out of 10 any day of the week. It could have a little bit more ship-to-ship action, but other than that, the story, the way it looked, characters, everything, I love the movie.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. In fact, I was getting ready to ask Jedi Bill what his rating would be on the movie.
It would be a 10 out of 10. I can remember in the early
Cool.
90s, on my birthday, my dad had recently got a laser disc player, and so my aunt, one of my aunts, gave me the money, and I went to Suncoast Video, and I bought a laser disc copy of Star Trek through the Wrath of Khan.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had.
Now, back in the day with laser discs, were they the big thing? I remember laser discs, but we never had a laser disc player. Were laser discs like DVDs? In other words, when you watched it, did it look better than, say, a VHS tape?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
The only downside to Laserdisc, you had to flip them to see the rest of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like an album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they look like a vinyl album record.
I had a DVD that you had to do that to.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No, not a DVD that did that. A DVD that was split into 2 discs.
Right.
I think I still have it somewhere. I couldn't tell you which movie it is, but I was like, really? There's 2 discs in this movie? That was weird. Huh. But yeah, man, that as a matter of fact, I don't know if they make a copy of it or not, but I've got all the remember back in the day it was the silver and gray cases, director's cuts, and special editions, all 6 Star Trek movies.
Oh yes.
Okay, I have all them, but also I have more Blu-ray. And I also have a 4K Blu-ray player that I don't know if they offer them or not. I would love to have them if they did. 4K copies. Of
Wow.
these movies. In all actuality, all 10 of them, TNG versions included, all 10 movies, they
Right.
were beautiful films. the Star Trek movies that way.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think you're right. But no, in fact, I would probably go with my personal score would be probably 8 out of 10. Um, I mean, I really, really love the movie. So yeah, I would go with an 8 out of 10 personally. But I'm glad that you were able to join us, Sith Lord. It's actually been quite fun to have you on.
Absolutely.
Well, as always, I've started doing my own weekly show, but
Yeah,
anytime I can pop in and hang out with anybody, you guys, DJ, sometimes Mary Mayhem lets me hang out with while she's streaming. But anytime
Yeah.
I get a chance to hang out with anybody, whether it's topic based or just a BS stream, to hang out.
yeah,
Shoot
Yeah.
the shit every once in a while, I enjoy it because not only is it giving whoever's channel I'm on more watch time and more ways for people to interact with you, it's going to be personal family. It also gives me a chance to get myself out there, which that's what I've been trying to do for about a year now. And so far, it ain't been going too bad. Now I'm trying to get my own channel. So, I have fun either way. Whether I'm proud out of my brain or I'm straight up and down, I have fun because I'm disabled and it gives me a way to give me something to do.
yeah,
So, it's I've said it before and I'll say it again. YouTube, a former there. So,
yeah. It's been a way for us to connect. Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
and Bill was not meant to prove a point. So,
What's that?
it's not meant to prove a point, Bill. Because,
Right.
congratulations on the 50 hours, but there's no need to do that again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no more. Or we're gonna call Mama Pray.
Okay, maybe no more for this year.
Okay,
Don't
we'll
hold me
agree
to
to that.
But don't hold me to that. There might be a reason to.
Yeah,
But not any-
to.
But not
Hey.
anytime soon. Not
Thank
anytime
you.
soon.
Thank you. No, and see, I've gotten to know JJ through Rambling Canuck. He and I became friends, and then I got introduced to JJ. And although we don't actually get to talk that much, I know he's a good guy. Kind of an asshole like Rambling Canuck, but a good guy.
No, I'm an asshole in the best kind of way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They sure we had a Jedi, a Sith Lord, and a captain.
Because it's been like that before.
Yeah.
We had a Sith and a Jedi, which was me and you, Bill. And then we had Captain Trek and Ensign Ricky. We had Sith and Jedi, Captain and an Ensign
Yeah.
on one string.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I was streaming and I was like the first one to get the 10 people. That blew
was
my mind.
cool.
I just seen that I can have another one, and I was like, okay, put him on the show. Another one pops up. I could add him on the show. So I was like, it wasn't just your minds that were getting blown here. My mind was getting blown that night too.
The screen, and when Canuck popped in, I'm like, what the hell?
That was everybody's first impression, I think. What the hell?
How'd you do that? But it's good to be able to have more because I've been on a lot of streams that
Yeah.
the host was having to do a lot of rotating, so the host couldn't really concentrate
Yeah.
Because, oh, I got to bring this person in. Oh, okay, who am I going to rotate out now? Who's going to volunteer to go? It's like, okay, all right, well, now we can have more than 5 people on because I never count the host.
Yeah.
Now we have 9.
Exactly. And see, that's one thing that I've been talking to a couple people about is I think that one of the things that they probably should add to StreamYard is the ability to have a co-host.
Oh,
That
yeah.
way the host of the show can focus on the show and have somebody else doing the switching out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, the live stream is for everybody. I wish it would add a few more different things.
Right.
You know, like, hey, I would like to comment in the chat. You know, let the guest be able to go into the YouTube chat and be able to converse with people that way.
Right.
Because if you want to type in the chat, you got to go to the YouTube stream and pull out the chat.
Yeah, that's one of the things I didn't like that they changed. Because initially that had been available to everybody. And then it changed where it's only the host.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that they can do to improve it. You know, because when StreamYard launched, from what I understood, it was in the beta phase.
Right.
So, and they're constantly making changes and updates and stuff. So we'll just have to wait and see what else they do or come up with. But right now, the addition of more people, I know a lot of people have been screaming about it. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, hey, we'll just see where it goes from here. And also, I think they need to drop the monthly price because
I think it's too high.
yeah, I can't afford it.
Is that
I can't
for
either.
the annual part of it or the month?
Monthly.
Monthly. Well, I can't afford the annual either. That's outlandish.
Technically, I can't, but I'm doing.
I pay $60 a year for Xbox Live because I'm a gamer.
Right.
Okay. Or pay $10 a month. Okay, I save $40 if I do it by the year.
Right.
But no, more than that. More than 60. $10 a month is $120.
Right. You get half off.
Yeah, you get half off if you do it by the year. Yeah, I don't math very well, especially when I'm driving.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what's the yearly price on the StreamYard.
Monthly cost is $25 a month, and annual cost is $20 a month. But you have to pay the annual price, so it's $240. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't afford that.
Yeah, you save like $60 or something for the annual.
Now, if they drop it to say like 10 or 15 a month, then I might think about it.
Right.
Because I already got so much shit I'm paying for. Streaming services, Patreons, channel memberships. I got all kinds of shit that I gotta pay out. Now, I can go in and change all that. I don't. There's a lot of shit I ain't gotta pay for that I do, but still, in the long run, that is a lot of money just to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna live stream on YouTube. Or whatever else you can use with StreamYard, because I know you can do it with Facebook. I think you can do it with Instagram or other platforms. But and $25 a month is or $240 a year. That's a lot of damn money.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. That's a lot. And unfortunately, most people don't have that.
No. And I don't make a lot of money a month $240 is like almost a quarter of what I get a month.
Phew. Yeah. That would be insane. But yeah.
But yes, gentlemen, wonderful topic, excellent movie. I suggest it to anyone or everyone. It's
Right,
the
the
best
com-
of all. It's the best of all 10 to me.
I agree. I
Mhm.
agree. It is the best of all 10 in my opinion as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, JJ, I'd like to thank you for coming on. That has been awesome to
Yes.
have you on.
Thank you, JJ.
As always, you guys, I appreciate you guys letting me come on and voice my piece a little bit.
You are always welcome on my stream,
And my stream.
and I'm sure that CCTV is as well. I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
speak for him, but he's a good guy.
I've been on a couple of his own, and we seem to get along okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the truth of the matter because I haven't heard straight from the horse's mouth, but I assume we do.
Yeah. Trust me, he is one you would know if there was a problem. He's pretty direct.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's fun and giggly and all that stuff, but point also.
Oh,
And
definitely.
I like that. I like that honesty out of somebody because even though I'm due to still relatively new to the live streaming aspect, I've been a chat rat for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I've seen fake beyond fake, and it's people when they get on camera. What I look for on live streams and people is when you get on camera, the person does not change.
Right.
I want you to be the same person on camera that would be face to face. And I've seen so many people that when they turn the camera on, that's their personality. No, I don't want their personality. I want the person. And that's a big thing to me.
Yeah. I agree.
JJ, I don't know if you can see it, but the Epic Beard says, Sith is cool people for sure.
Who said that?
The Epic Beard said that
Epic Beard.
about you.
Oh, of course. Hell 420, Epic Beard.
Oh yes, Hail 420. I'm sure Epic Beard will agree with that as well.
Well, I have some things to get done this morning, so.
All right.
So yeah, again, thank you for jumping on, Sith Lord, and
Yes, thank you.
have a great day.
All right, gentlemen. Y'all take care of yourselves.
You too.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, JJ. Have a good day.
And Jedi Bill, I'd like to thank you for inviting me on today.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyone who hears this later, you can find me on YouTube at Captain Trek. And you can check out my content. I'm going to be working on some new content in the near future. But again, thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Cap. You're always welcome here. You know that.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you, VStar33, for joining us this morning. Thank you, The Epic Beard. Thank you, JJ, so very much. And thank you, 6 baby Wookiees in a trench coat. Man,
Oh, yes. Absolutely love that.
That's a great name, and your avatar is pretty cool, too. Thank you for dropping by, and I hope you all will join us on the next morning one. And again, when we discuss this movie a little bit more depth. And
yes. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah. Have a good day, folks. Catch you again.